Hello, and welcome to a special episode of the Computer Game Show, just for you patrons. What is it, Matt?
I see a lot of people saying patrons. Surely it's just patrons, like you just normally say it.
Patrons. It's called Patreon, right?
Yeah.
The site. Right, but patrons...
Well,
I don't know.
Just
if you sign up
as
for
in
a-
the word patron.
But, yeah, like if you sign up for something on Kickstarter, you don't call yourself a Kickstarter, do you? Do you know what I mean? It doesn't.
Speak for
It's not
yourself,
dictated by the name of the website. Just like
Can we, like, just set this ground rule from the start? We don't need to introduce ourselves, do we? That would be mental.
yeah.
Like, I mean, you probably know who we are, so
Yeah.
it's fine.
I mean,
it's
no one's
fine.
going to be finding this.
I mean, if you've paid for this but you don't know who we are, that's incredible. Well
Yeah,
done.
thanks for that.
Yeah.
Matt, have you got like a snazzy title? Like, what are we calling this thing?
It's called TCGBS, the Computer Game Show bonus show. The
we haven't got a snappy
the Computer
title.
Game bonus show, yeah, that's the one.
But it's
Bonus
hilarious
show.
because it means it's got BS in the title. Do you get it?
Yeah, exactly, yeah. So,
great.
yeah,
Is it?
it's TCGBS, that's the one.
Yeah.
So first off, we'd all like to say a massive thank you for becoming a patron.
Patron, just the word patron.
Just say thanks for giving us money. That's it.
Yeah.
Thanks for giving us money. We
Thanks for
really
honing up.
appreciate it. The whole thing has just blown us away, and it's been very exciting. And we're hoping that this show is more than worthwhile. At the moment, we don't really know what to do with it, and I think that's kind of the point. What we want to do is sort of get some guidance from you. Like with the Computer Game Show, we are quite strict on like digging our heels in and doing what we want to do. But with this one, it's kind of over to you guys. We want to hear your thoughts. Do you want us to talk about computer games more, go in depth on certain things, or do you want us to just not talk about computer games? Do you want this to be a dad cast? Do you want it to be me reviewing all the shows that have happened in between bonus podcasts? Because I could fucking do it, I tell you. Yeah, so we've got the Patron Discord set up.
Are
So
you doing it
if
on
you
purpose?
Join that. Yes, I am. I'm taking the piss. Come on. Yeah, I know where I'm going with this, Matt. Just follow my lead, baby. So yeah, we don't really know what to talk about. So let's just get into what I want to talk about. Sean, have you watched I Think You Should Leave yet on Netflix?
No, I haven't. I do want to though.
How I know you keep saying that every time I say you've got to see it. I mean, there's not that many episodes and they're quite short, but that has to be the. James, have you heard of this?
No, what is it? I've no idea what
It's
it
a
is.
sketch show. It's an American sketch show from one of the guys that is he on Saturday Night Live or did he used to be on Saturday Night Live?
And I know Andy Samberg's on it, but he's not
Yeah,
like the
Andy Samberg.
main guy, is he? He's just
I don't
on
know.
it. I think, yeah.
I don't know any of the names.
Right.
But yeah, it's on Netflix, James. You've just got to watch it. Honestly, it's one of the best sketch shows I've seen for a long time. But I'm only recommending it to you because it does remind me, like, it's got a touch of Eric Andre in there. Like, it's just the weird. I mean, the sketch is just so bizarre that not wacky bizarre. You know, it's actually like genuinely funny. And every sketch that I've watched, I'm like, oh my god, are they really gonna? Is this going to be the sketch? And then it just spirals out of control. Like, it's just fucking
That
mental.
sounds like, because that's always been my favourite thing, is when things just spiral. And it's just, it's like that, how did we get to this point?
Well, Eric, yeah, exactly. And Eric, this is totally that. There's a whole thing with one where someone buys someone a gift, and he's sort of like the premise of it. I won't ruin it, obviously, but the premise of it originally is like, do you like my gift? Do you like the gift that I bought you? It's like that thing. And I thought, fucking hell, man, this has been done a lot, like on Friends. You know what I mean? Like, why are we going with this? And then it just goes fucking mental. Like, it's just so good. And there was one it was like parodying the Johnny Cash scene from that film, Walk the Line. And honestly, I was struggling to breathe at points. It was so funny. So yeah, you got to get that done, man. It's good. You've not seen any, Matt?
I've seen loads of clips because I know it's basically got loads of ex-SNL like people like Vanessa Bayer. Well, she's a current SNL member, but Will Forte was amazing. He's on that.
Oh yeah.
Sandberg, of course. Cecily Strong. So yeah, it's basically loads of SNL people and like Tim Robinson. That's the guy, isn't it? Is it?
I don't know.
I think
can't remember, Matt. I don't know
anyway,
names.
but basically, I think if it's a guy I'm thinking about, he was like a former SNL like member and also like a writer. So yeah, it's basically a new SNL sketch show. I haven't actually seen it. I've just seen the clips, and obviously there's that one video that sort of went semi-viral a few weeks ago of all the women talking. They were basically taking like Instagram. I think they were doing like Instagram shots, and they're doing like pithy, sort of biting captions and taking it further and further and further.
That was a good one. That's like in the first episode. But yeah, no, you get that watched.
Okay, Dave, I wasn't fully paying attention. What's this called again?
It's called I Think You Should Leave.
Right, okay. What's it on? Is it on
with
Netflix,
Tim Robinson. It's on Netflix.
Netflix, yeah.
Okay, let's get
it's
on my list.
fucking good, man. You get on that shit. Also, I've been meaning to talk to you because obviously I don't get to talk about games anymore because I'm not on the podcast. But none of you played Rage 2, have you?
No.
I just have no interest in that. I could be less interested.
I'd like to, but just going
Did
out.
you have no interest in it before the reviews come out though? Because like the fucking trailers for it were incredible.
Oh yeah. No, I've been like consistently interested. It's just I've got so much to play, like, and all like games that have cost me like £5 to £10 each, and they're all really good. So to justify going out and spending £40 on something, it's just
like I don't think I mean, I'm really disappointed with it.
Oh, really?
I played a little bit more last night, and it's just the shooting and everything. The combat is fucking fantastic, but all the stuff in between, like going to different towns or whatever, it's just like, oh god, what am I doing? Like, I don't know. It's one of those. I'm going to keep playing it because it's one of those games where you like keep picking up abilities, and every new ability I get seems to be fucking brilliant. But it's just I've not got round to get like finding the stuff in between yet. Like, I don't know, man.
It's a shame because you'd have thought we were out of this thing of like games being made open world for the sake of it. Like, I don't think a game being open world is like the marketing tool it used to be. Like,
no, but I think it had to be open world.
Yeah.
Otherwise, it would be way too similar to Doom.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Do you not get that thing now though? Because whenever I see a game is open world now, I'm immediately kind of like, I don't know if I
have I got
want
time
that
for this? Yeah,
at the moment. Yeah.
I've not had that thing yet. I think because Red Dead last year, and all right, Breath of the Wild was a one-off, but
I think it's like those two games are like so, like they're really important. Whereas like making time for an open world game that isn't like quite such a landmark title, it's a struggle.
Yeah,
See,
but
that's the thing,
there's part of me that's also hoping that like a lot of lessons have been learned. Do you know what I mean? And maybe open world games will have a bit of a resurgence when they start being, because obviously this game like Rage 2 starts off and it's like you got to go and meet these 3 people, and they're like really far away, or at least like 2 of them are, and it kind of feels like I see what you're doing the Breath of the Wild thing where it's like you've got these 3 things to do or these 4 things to do, but then you meet people along the way and you discover things along the like on your journey,
go and explore kind of thing. Yeah,
exactly. Yeah, but the thing is that hasn't got that bit. It's kind of like okay, just driving around and go to a roadblock and then kill some people. And what kills me is that when you get out your car and then the combat, it's like holy shit, this is really good fun. And then you get back in your car again and you're like okay.
I've heard the combat is great. It's like the classic ID style and quality of combat, but I don't know. But the first Rage I didn't play, and this one I saw trailers and I just thought, no, that's not a Matt Murray game at all.
What is a Matt Murray game?
I don't know, but I saw this and I couldn't be less interested. I just no.
What are you looking forward to at this point? Because I heard you talk about Mario Maker on last week's show, and I was like, and you were both. Was it you? Like, but weren't you saying, Sean? You were saying that you weren't interested in making levels.
Yeah.
Oh, it's mad, isn't it? I don't get that. But go on.
Did you play much of the first Mario Maker?
I didn't play any of it, to be fair.
Right. Okay. That's right. Okay. That explains it then.
Okay.
Because you know me, like I'm not. Anytime any of these like sort of create your own stuff, guys, games comes out, you're like, I can't get into them.
Yeah.
I've never been into that side of things, especially with Little Big Planet and all that. Trust me, I think give it. I reckon give it. The first day that you buy it, you'll look at it and you'll go, okay, I'll mess around with the level creator, and then you'll go, right, okay, I get it. Like it's so simple to make levels, and it's actually genuinely fun to do it. And that's why that game is so special, really.
Yeah.
And of course, like once we start sending levels to each other, then forget about it. You're just gonna want to muck about and send each other levels. Like James, we did that a bit, didn't we?
We did, yeah. I mean, we could have done it even more, but it was really fun. It's I mean, you did that great one, which had that mental jump that took me ages.
The
to
leap
get
of
to
faith,
that.
I think. I called it. Yeah.
That was good.
There was a few, yeah. And I mean, I made a few that I was really happy with, and of course, like you get reviews and stuff. And do you remember that website? I wonder if they'll do that as well. There was a website, right, where because obviously you didn't take your Wii U around with you, but you could go to your website, log into your Nintendo ID, and it would throw up your levels, show how many people have played them, like in the past 24 hours or whatever, how many people have completed them out of that, and then it showed there was an X on where each person had died. So you could sort of gather ideas of where people were tripping up on your level. And then you clicked on your level and it had like written reviews from people that talks of. So you were constantly, like I was anyway, just like checking my phone. Oh shit, another 50 people has played my level. You know, it's got so many stars because it didn't have like a thumbs up, thumb down system. You just gave it a star if you liked it. Okay. And it gathered so many stars and, you know, there's these people that have written some stuff on it. I hope it's got all of that shit in. I can't believe that.
I definitely will.
It must.
There's no way they won't do that.
It should do.
It's got to have that website stuff.
But the idea of like James doing a stream where he plays all like really hard levels every week. That sounds like a great idea. But or you two both like make Sean and James like making levels together on the stream.
That'd be cool.
And I mean that's been done before, obviously by other people, but it doesn't matter, does it?
Hasn't
I mean, it would be quite
before,
funny to.
Come on, everything we do has been done before. It's fine.
That's the problem, though. I'd love to do that with James, like because I think you know us battling it out over Mario levels would be quality, but the problem is we can't. You haven't got the ability to stream switch stuff, have you?
No, how do I do that?
Nor have I.
Is there some
you need
way
an Elgato?
You need a device, but then you know Patreon money.
Yeah, how expensive are those things? They're not that expensive, are they?
They're more than you'd like. I think it's still like 150 for a.
That's not too bad.
Box.
Yeah, but I mean, I got mine from CX for like 80 quid.
Oh, okay.
So you can get them second hand.
But then you also need like a PC to. Would a MacBook do that?
Probably.
I mean, it can, and I'm sure it's way better. But I basically spent weeks trying to use my Mac to get it working. I gave up, and then I got a PC and it works in 2 seconds. So, but things may have improved drastically since then.
Yeah.
But also,
but to be fair, it doesn't need to be a stream,
wanted to buy a
does
PC anyway, didn't you, Matt? I mean, that was another excuse to buy a PC at that time.
Well, exactly. Yeah, there is that.
I mean, it's
It
amazing.
doesn't need to be a stream, though, does it?
What, sorry?
What was that?
I said it doesn't need to be a stream, though, does it?
Oh, that's true.
We could just record them and put them out as YouTube videos.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, like once you've got a capture device, it's amazing like what you can do. Like if you've got like a tablet or a phone, you can log them into the Streamlabs app and then use that as what they call a deck, which basically has all big chunky buttons so you can change between your layouts and stuff, which is really useful. So it really is that, assuming your Mac's up to it, just that one device should do.
It's probably not, though. It's fucking well old, my Mac now.
That was it.
Well, it's a couple of years. It's probably...
You know, that's the worst thing about getting older, right? Because, you know, like, time goes way quicker.
Yeah.
Like, it just, all of a sudden, it's like, it's Christmas again? What? Like, you get that shit with... I remember, like, thinking that I had my old Samsung HD-ready TV for you know, about 8 years or whatever.
Yeah.
And then I look at my new TV, my 4K TV is like 3 years old now.
Yeah.
Maybe even... it's like 3 years old. And I'm kind of like... I only had that Samsung one for about 7 years. Yeah. So I'm kind of thinking like... start thinking about a new TV again eventually. You know what I mean? Like, not that far away. And it's like when the generations of consoles come around again, it's like Sony going, hey, we're thinking about PS5. And I'm like, fucking hold on. How long have we had the PS4? 6 years? Okay, all right, fine. Okay, you carry on, Sony. It's madness.
Oh no, I've even been considering like doing a green screen and all that kind of thing. I just thought it'd be
really, James, really.
Oh, here we go.
I mean, semi-thinking about it because I was just thinking whether it would
That
be.
sounds like you're thinking about it.
I suppose,
how much
have you
it
got
would-
like a home office that you do stuff in? Or...
Kind of, yeah. I've got a room which I could do it in.
Okay.
So yeah, it's I'm not
Because
doing
that's
the garage work.
like for me, it's not the expense of a green screen. It's just the fact that it would have to go up in the living room, which is probably not going to go down so well.
Yeah, I haven't got a spare room.
Yeah.
Actually, you semi-thinking about that, James, is giving me a semi-thinking about it. So, maybe you should
Nice.
crack on. That's what you're missing, ladies and gentlemen. That's what you're missing. All right?
But sure, in terms of like the expense, I just went to like a haberdashery and got like £5 worth of green felt, and that is my green screen.
Okay.
But obviously, but I can do that because I can just like pin it to the wall in this like in the spare room. That's fine.
Right,
But
yeah.
For your solution, obviously, like Elgato do have their own green screen now, which you can pop up and pop down.
Okay.
But those are like 150 quid. But those just,
mate.
you know,
But, like, setting up a stream, just like, for me, all I have to do is plug my microphone into my PS4.
Yeah.
Even that's enough sometimes to go, shall I stream tonight? Oh, no. I've got to go into the other room, get my mic, plug
because
it
this
in.
is it. Like, are we just doing tech chat? Is that all right? I think that's
fine.
marginally
It doesn't-
entertaining, isn't it? So, like, my setup is like I've got a desk like next to the TV in the living room, so that's where my PC is. And I'm relatively lucky in that because obviously most people. So if you wanted to play like your PS4 on the actual telly downstairs, you've got to actually physically move the console away from the streaming setup. I'm lucky enough that I've got it all basically in one place, and it's still a pain in the arse thinking like, right, hang on, what's wired into what? Which HDMI leads am I using? Like switching stuff around, it's a pain.
What is it with an Elgato though? Is it just a HDMI in and out?
Yeah, and a USB.
But then you have to keep switching.
So basically, whatever I want to capture has got to go into the Elgato box.
Fuck that.
See, all this is now just making me think I can't be bothered.
I mean, because like with the Switch, it's not as much of a problem because that doesn't get so much TV time anyway because it's a handheld. Well, often a handheld. But like with the PS4, it's like, fuck off. Okay. So yeah, it's a weird one. Like I
Has
said,
Isaac started noticing games yet?
as what? Sorry.
Has Isaac started noticing games yet?
Yeah, he. If I'm playing on the Switch like handheld, he tries to get it off me now and like kicks off if he can't have it. So I've started giving him my Game Boy Micro to just sort of.
I
fuck
saw
around
that on
with.
Instagram. Yeah,
It was great. So I put Yoshi's Island on it, and he was like, obviously, like he's barely any concept of what's going on, but he twigged that like A was jump and B was to make Yoshi stick his tongue out. Not that he understood the function of either. He knew that it was making stuff move and make noises, and he was like laughing. And then he just randomly hit the D-pad and made Yoshi run to the right, and then like ran into an enemy. And on Yoshi's Island, because you got Baby Mario on your back, you get hit. Baby Mario like comes off, and he's like crying. It's doing like din it noise as the timer goes down. When that happened, Isaac he was like clutching the Game Boy and going like no, like this. And I was like, fuck, how does he understand that that's a bad thing? Like, it was really strange.
Yeah, they pick up on stuff, don't they?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's better. But I tell you what was great, right? I played. Harry's been playing Mario games forever, but obviously we've never actually sat down and played Mario, like the Super Mario Brothers.
Yeah.
I've never just stuck that on. Well, I did, like, this was a few months back.
Yeah.
I just stuck it on, and he was playing it, and he was loving it, like absolutely loving it. But he couldn't do 1-2 because there's a lot of like platform jumps in that.
Yeah.
So he was struggling with that a little bit. So he just kept doing 1-1 over and over and over again, right? So he did that for about, say 30 minutes or whatever, just playing out 1-1. I said, "Here, Harry, do you want to see something cool?" And he went, "Yeah, go on." And then I went down that pipe.
Oh, yeah.
And it fucking blew his mind. Like, he just thought, he looked at me, "What?" And I went, "Yeah, you could just go down that pipe and then you skip half of the level." And he was, So then I started playing 1-2, and I was running up where the score was, and he just like fucking melted. It was so great because I guess because we all know that, like, you know, you don't play those levels now without doing those things, do you? You just don't. And to see him sort of discover that, like, as if it was a fresh idea, it was just so fucking cool, man. I love that.
Because I guess, like, showing kids, like, older games, presumably they don't see the differences as much, right? Like we all know that, like, the original Mario games are classics. We wouldn't necessarily go out of our way to replay them now. Whereas to a kid, is it just another Mario game? Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, it is weird because they have been sort of refined. You know, people will say that the Super Mario Bros. Was perfect, and it was to an extent, but that makes no sense. That makes literally no sense, that sentence. But it was perfect to a degree. But yeah, no, they've been sort of not made easier, but they've clearly adapted the movement and everything to be a tad more accessible.
Fucking stiff, that first one, isn't it? Like
that first one, the momentum was just like ramped up. You know what I mean? And there's times where you're just like, Mario's still moving. But yeah, no. I mean, the weird one is when you go and you show them like old, like N64 games or something like that, and I expected Harry to be like, this looks like shit, you know, because they do. Those games they've aged terribly, but it didn't really mind. Like, it didn't pick it up as an issue, you know what I mean?
Yeah, I've had the same thing with Asher. He'll just play stuff like that and he doesn't seem bothered at all, you know, like by how they look. I mean, the 2D Mario games, though, they are really hard, though, like compared with the stuff that's from, like, you know, like, I mean, he really loves, like, the 3D Mario stuff like Mario Odyssey, and he'll play like Mario 64, no problem at all, but struggles with, like even with, like, New Super Mario Bros. U, it's a tough game. Like, if you've, I mean, I guess it's because, I mean, the 2D ones are obviously all about precision, whereas there's a lot more, like, leeway with the 3D stuff, so it's a lot easier. I mean, I'm really hoping that 3D World is going to come out this year. Like, they're just going to, like, drop it at E3 or something like that, because that Asher would love that. I mean, because he never even played it because he was too young when it was on Wii U, and he'll love that. It's can't wait.
It's the same with Harry. Like, we played it a lot, but it was always in 2-player, and he wasn't really playing it. But now that he can play games, like, he would just he'd rinse that. Like, it'd be.
I had a frustrating experience this morning, like, playing, because we watched Detective Pikachu recently, so now, like, Ash has got a whole thing for Pokemon, and he's been just, like, watching the Pokemon cartoons. There's a Pokemon app that you can download that has just, like, all the old TV shows and stuff. So that's going on.
Oh, really?
Yeah. It's on iOS and it's on, like, Apple TV and stuff.
It's called Netflix. Have you heard of this app?
No, it's just called Pokemon TV, and it's like you can, like, download it. And so he's been watching that, but then also he's been playing, like, Pokemon Let's Go Pikachu, and you know that's got, like, a 2-player mode, and it's the most boring thing ever. Like, it's playing that in 2-player is so excruciatingly boring, because he's controlling, like, the main character, and if you control, like, the second player, like, has a avatar that walks around as well, but they have no control over, you know, where the screen's going or anything like that. So all the time I'm just like, no, not that way, no, down there, and stuff like that. And then also, like, you know, when it, like, goes through, like, the menu systems of, like, after you've, like, won a battle or whatever, and you just have to press A to, like, skip through to the next bit, and he's, like, just not pressing A, and I'm like, just press A, just press it. It's like, just like, can we just continue this, because it's awful and really boring. And it's just, I mean, I quite liked it when I played it in single player, but playing it in 2-player is miserable. It's so boring. It's not fun at all. I hate it.
So second player is just there to follow the main player and help out in battles.
And if they go off the screen, like, if they go in the other direction, you end up off the screen and then you disappear anyway. And it's just the worst. I mean, I was sat there playing it, and then, like, Chen came in and she just looked at me and she said, "You look really miserable." And I'm like, I know. I usually like playing games with him, but this is the worst. This is, like, the most boring game, like, to play. It's just not good.
Right, Sean, the other one to watch out for are demos.
Oh yeah,
it's crazy. Like, that Box Girl Box.
Oh yeah,
Box Girl and Box Boy. Yeah. We got the demo for that, and Harry absolutely adores it. Right. and he said, "Oh, it's 2-player. Can we play together?" And I was like, "Yeah, absolutely. Let's stick it on." And I played it, and I was like, "This is really good fun. Like, this is a really good game." But the problem is that they don't give a shit that it's only a few levels.
Yeah.
That just means they want to play the same bits over and over and over again. And I'm like, "Hey, should we play Box Scale?" And I'm like, "Harry, we've done the demo 8 times. Like, come on."
This is
But then I
why.
remember being a kid and playing demos over and over
Yeah,
and over
totally.
again.
Yeah.
This is why it was
So I
good
get
on Wii U though, because they used to have those restrictions, so you could only play it like 10 times or something.
right, yeah,
And actually,
yeah.
like everyone
Yeah.
says that's terrible. Like, how can they do that? But when you got a kid doing that, it's brilliant. When you can just go,
Lifesaver,
"Oh, sorry,
yeah.
it's run out. Can't
No, I
do
can
it."
imagine.
It was mad that they did that though, wasn't it?
It was
was crazy.
I don't know. Like, I gather there is evidence that, like, there are games where if you can play the demo immediately and really enjoy it, like that, for a lot of people, that sates their curiosity and they then don't buy it. Like, there's research suggests that, like, people playing a demo can result in lost sales, which is why demos are, like, relatively rare these days. Or, sometimes it might be like, "Oh, this has been out for 2 months now, here's a demo." It's because they know it stops people doing that sort of impulse purchase. But so I guess the limited demo time was like a way of combating that. But I don't know.
Well, they got rid of it now, haven't they?
The
The demo that always sticks out for me was Guitaroo Man, because I'd never heard of it before that demo, and then I remember just playing that demo and playing it and playing it and playing it and playing like over and over and over again.
Yeah.
And then eventually like buying the game. And I remember buying the game and being disappointed that the song from the demo was in English.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? Because the demo was in Japanese.
That was,
so it was
like that demo. I mean, I don't know if you guys were the same, but like, I wasn't like unhappy as a teenager, but I don't know, just general sort of teenage angst, I guess. And like playing that demo was one of the few times I remember it was like someone just put like a set of jumper cables to my brain or something. I was like, "Fuck, stuff's brilliant." Like, this is. It was like
I like things.
Yeah, it was like a proper revelation, but.
Yeah, I mean, that whole thing was just full of joy. That game was great, except for the drum and bass level that almost killed me.
I've never played that game.
Oh
I've
man,
never
it's
played
great.
it.
I don't know what the options are for playing it now, because
I don't think there are they?
Was it
because I mean,
you can't play it on PS4.
Was it a PS2 game?
it was a PS2 game, and there was a PSP version, which I gather is not on the store, is it? It's.
I think it went to Vita. I think you could play on Vita, but the problem was the PSP version wasn't great because of the sticks. The sticks are a big part of that game.
Right, yeah. But obviously, playing
so
it on the PS2, unless you've got a CRT TV, there's no compensation for the lag you get on digital, the LCD tellies.
I'd love it if they just drop that. That would
be amazing. Yeah.
It says
that
it.
would be good because I would play that again.
PS2 and PlayStation Portable. So yeah.
Wasn't there?
I mean, emulation might be your friend. To be honest, I don't know what that might introduce lag as well. Though I don't know.
Wasn't there a link between those devs and the Uendan devs?
Yeah, same team, Innis.
It is the same team, right? I mean, that's all you need to know, James. It was.
Man. Do you know?
Stunning game.
I was playing music from Wendan the other day again because I just it
You're
reminded
going to say music, Wii music, then go on.
No, because it like reminds you of like a certain time in your life, and because that's what when we were like playing that and everything. And I remember we were playing that at the same time, Dave, and like we were like texting each other like because we were both trying to do the last level on the hardest difficulty, and
that's right.
We both did it like almost at the same time, and it was just amazing.
Yeah.
That was such a good game. That
I remember that because I got that game completely out of the blue in a post. Wasn't expecting it. Postman knocked and said, "We've got delivery. You need to sign for it." I was like, "Okay, I haven't ordered anything. What the fuck's going on?" And then unwrapped it, and it was like this Japanese packaging with Japanese sweets in and stuff. And I was like, "Who the fuck has sent me this?" And then because it's from Play Asia, and they used to send sweets and stuff. And then that night we were playing on Xbox Live. I was living in Milton Keynes at the time, and I said, "There's this weird Japanese game that's just turned up at my door," and James went, "You ordered that last week?" I went, "What? You came on to Xbox Live absolutely hammered. I told you about this game, and you ordered it while we were gaming." I was like, "All right, okay." they were the times when I had disposable income. So it was like,
Good old days.
you could do that shit.
Yeah, if that came out on Switch, I'll buy it in a second. But
Yeah,
I
man.
wonder how it would work without like the stylus and.
Yeah, no, I can't.
Destroy the screen,
it was-
won't it? It's just
Yeah, totally. Doing those little swirly bits.
I never quite
Forget
liked
about
the
it.
LEB agents as much.
No,
No,
that was
it's
shit.
Yeah, it's
Shit.
weird, wasn't it? Because we knew all the songs, it didn't have that. I don't know.
Didn't have the charm.
Did you?
Yeah.
Did any of you
But
play
then
the sequel
even when
though?
down 2.
Because
yeah,
the
I played
sequel
the sequel
wasn't that great. I didn't think. Like, as in
No,
the,
I
the,
don't think it's that
and
great
two?
either.
No, I didn't know.
the soundtrack wasn't that great, and that was the problem with
Nah.
it. It's like they totally nailed it with the first one, and then the next was just like.
I was just-
They really nailed it with the first one.
I was just looking at it, like all the games they've made, and you know when you remember a dev like that, oh yeah, shit, what are they up to now? And then I remembered, obviously
They're
they
making
did that.
phone games now.
Is that what they're doing? Because I mean, I'm looking at the Wikipedia page. So
I just
obviously
wondered
after,
if that's what they're doing.
yeah, right. After Oendon 2, it's basically just a shitload of karaoke games. So they did Lips famously, which to be fair must have been
that's
must have been a good money spinner for them because they did about 10 different versions of it.
Oh, that was the Xbox thing, and it came with
Yeah,
the sparkly mic.
Yeah.
Didn't
We
it?
went to
that's
the
the one,
launch
yeah.
party of the first version of them, me and Michael. One of the rare launch parties we were invited to, and it was Lips. And, it was pretty good. I thought it was pretty good, but they tried to add some gimmicky stuff to make it not SingStar.
Right, yeah.
And none of the gimmicky stuff worked.
They also did the Black Eyed Peas experience, which is nice.
Oh, it's a great experience.
which, I mean,
if there's one experience I want to live in my life, it's the Black Eyed Peas experience.
Pissing yourself on stage. They also did they did Just Sing, which I never played.
Yeah.
That was in 2016. Was that all right? I never.
No idea.
No idea. But then they did the ill-fated. Well, they tried to do the ill-fated Project Rap Rabbit. The Kickstarter that was like,
Oh yeah, I remember that.
which was sort of well into people being fed up with Kickstarter, and like to be fair, so it was them collaborating with Nana Onsha, who did Vib Ribbon and stuff. So in many ways, like, oh shit, this is going to be amazing, and then it just completely collapsed on Kickstarter, didn't it? It just never reached its goal. Then I think they relaunched it with a lower goal, maybe, and it just went nowhere.
Shit.
So that's a shame.
Yeah,
Well,
the
it's,
Kickstarter bubble well and truly burst by that point. I mean, at one point it was like, oh, every week there's something great to back, and then
Yeah.
I
then
started
after
backing in
2
things
years
basically
in,
when it.
everyone-
I
yeah,
think
2 years
it was Camouflage's game Republic. And
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
that was like that killed me because people. I mean, people who weren't Kickstarters got to download it before like the Kickstarter people because they hadn't sent like the codes out in time. And like part of me like Kickstarting something is one to see it made, but also like get it early or get it at least on the same day.
Yeah.
But it's like that sort of stuff. I mean, there's probably loads of people now still waiting for Kickstarter backer rewards.
I was going to say it's
years ago.
It's always a fun exercise to just go on Kickstarter and just like everyone do it now. Just have a look at everything you've backed and what's actually been delivered.
See, I've only ever backed one thing, and it's
Oh really?
yeah, which was
Is it
Shenmue
our
3.
t-shirts?
That's
Okay.
it.
Oh well, best of luck
Not
with
been
that, mate.
delivered. Speaking of Shenmue, we'll probably look again. This is going to be a shorter version of this show that we will be putting out once a month. And as I said, if you don't like what we're talking about now, then please get on that Discord and tell us what you like. Even if you want to ask questions, if you want to know about a specific subject that might not be appropriate for the computer game show, but you want to hear about it on this. If you just want us to talk about like background stuff, about the show itself, then let us know on there, and we want to hear what you want. But I did want to talk to you a little bit about Shenmue tonight, James, because when else am I going to be able to? As you know, I loved Shenmue 1. I've, loved... No, I will. I'll say it. I loved Shenmue 1. I thought it was great. And all right, there's a lot of faults there, but even throughout, the aging of it and everything, the charm of it still shone through.
Yeah.
Bar that glitch that I came across that almost destroyed me, I really enjoyed my time with it. Shenmue 2, mate, I am now, how many hours in? I must be 10 hours in, 11 maybe. Mm-hmm. And I do not understand that game whatsoever. It's as if they've cherry-picked all the stuff that I didn't like about 1.
Yeah.
And made a game based on that and just forgotten all the stuff that I did like about it. Mm-hmm. It's really, really fucking... Have you been watching any of my streams?
I haven't seen, no. I ought to have a look. Because I've also been considering whether I ought to replay them myself because we've got the third one coming soon. But it's like, I've got so much to play at the moment, and it's like
You really didn't need to, you really don't need to play 2 because 2 has got a real lack of atmosphere to it. I mean, there's touches of it. Like I'm in Kowloon at the moment, and it's got some bits in it that feel like really like a fleshed out city, and that feels great.
Yeah.
But yeah, as I told you before, like every character I'm coming across has been plonked there to tell you where to go next.
Yeah.
And that is not what Shenmue 1 was about. Everyone was living their lives and they had their own shit going on, and you would talk to them about it, and sometimes you would get wrapped up in it. In this, it's just like, hello, how do I get to this place? It's over there.
it's like
okay,
I will
goodbye.
show you where
And
to
I'm
go.
like,
Follow me.
yeah, and it's like, fucking hell, man.
And also they walk
It's
very
just a
slowly
lack of-
as well, which is
Oh god, extremely slowly. There was one where I had to follow someone, and because it was like a important part of the plot, they had some real like serious music playing over the top of it, but it was still just me following someone walking very, very slowly. But then there was this as well. I mentioned this when I was on the show a couple of weeks ago. There's like a puzzle. Doing the quotes there, and there was a puzzle where you have to go up and down a lift. There was 2 lifts next to each other. Some like they go to different floors for whatever reason. So you had to work out where they cross over and then get onto the other lift and then go to the right floor that you want to get to. It's ridiculous. I found a worse bit of that game, and now you were banging on about a QTE sequence that absolutely destroyed you, and it was the worst thing ever.
Yeah.
Were you literally talking about that plank scene?
yeah. This is this in the yellow head building? Yeah, and
No, it's in the ghost building.
right, okay. Because it may not be the one I was talking about. Because I'm sure that was in the yellow head building, which is like really close to the end of the game, like, or at least it's close to the end of the bit, like before the final disc. And there is like, I think there's about 3 or 4 floors that you have to go up.
It's that, yeah.
And it's like
It is that.
everyone's got like planks that you have to go across. And
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
it's murder, that was. Because also you couldn't save or anything either. So
Well, this is it. I mean, it was, yeah, I mean, I fell off a total of 3 times, I think it was.
yeah.
But I had the luxury of quick saving before every plank. And then when I fell off, I'd just pause it, go back to the main menu, and then reload my save.
Yeah.
The fact that you couldn't do that on the Dreamcast is absolutely horrific. Why would they ever put you through that?
No idea. And I mean, that was the first time because I hate QTEs anyway in games, as we know. Like, I mean, everything that I've played recently has all been QTEs. Can't stand them. And that was where I began to hate them the most, because it always just feels so arbitrary. Like, and the way I remember with that, the way I got through it in the end was I just had to like do it, fail, and then write down what the first one was, and then I just sat there just hammering the button for like okay, just keep pressing A, and then just doing that for every single one until eventually I got through it, because I was like, there's no way I'm going to do it otherwise. And it just, it totally destroyed me. That did. I hated it. Yes.
Yeah, so it was 4 floors, Sean. 2 planks on each floor.
Yeah.
And every floor you go up, there's one more command per plank. You know, it was just ridiculous. Like,
Amazing.
honestly, it's just so stupid. But then it had that. I mean, you saw that video that I sent you where you get to the top and your mate's already there.
Oh yeah.
And they were like, I just got the key and went in the lift.
Yeah.
And then, but the perfect thing is the way Ryu looks at him. I was just like, actually, that is fucking hilarious. Just that look was worth the struggle. But yeah, no. So I must be near the end of
Well, hang on. Okay.
Kowloon then, right?
Have you seen like Landy in a helicopter yet?
No.
Okay, because that's
Oh,
the
spoilers.
yeah. Well, because that's once you get to that, you'll know, like, because that's really close to where you are now, and that means that you're pretty much done with Hong Kong, like nearly. It's and then where you're going.
It's a shame because I feel like I want to go in and out shops and stuff, but
Yeah, you
I
can't.
haven't got any money.
Yeah,
Where I am at the moment, I haven't got any money and I don't know how to make any.
Mm-hmm.
And they were saying, we'll go on fights. So I thought, brilliant, I'll do some fighting. And it was like, it's $10 to fight. And I'm like, I've only got 8.
yeah.
So what the fuck am I supposed to do?
There's a way
Well,
to rig
not
it
dollars,
at the
but, you know.
beginning so that you end up with more money. It's no good to you now, but you can, because you know, like you get robbed at the start by the kid. It's like what you can do is there's all these like stalls before you get there that are selling like watches and stuff. So you just go there, load up on watches, and then he robs you, and then because when he robs you, you lose all the money.
But you've still got the items.
But you sell the items, yeah.
okay.
Then you can sell them all back.
Of course you do.
And like, yeah, make
Shit.
a bunch of cash from that. But
Fuck, that would have made the whole
just start again, Dave.
earn 500.
yeah,
delete
you should
save
start
file.
again. Just start again. Yeah.
Easy.
It's a shame.
Go pour your money in watches, mate.
But
Have you played? Did you play them, Sean?
I played a bit of two. Sorry, I finished one, but I played a bit of two. But yeah, just never made any real progress.
I mean,
What do you think about 3? Are you excited or no?
I'm massively skeptical at this point. I'm very.
Well, yeah, I mean,
everyone
it's
is.
probably not going to be great, is it? It's like,
Yeah.
I mean, you see, the thing is, as I've said like many times about my feelings about those games, is it's like they were obviously they were of their time and they had loads of problems as well. But for me, it just like opened up a different sort of world, really, that I found really
I get
interesting, and that's what I liked about them. But I mean, everything you say though about the games, like the criticisms, Dave, are totally fair, because especially, I mean, with 2, like with 1, it was pretty clear what they were attempting, what he was trying to do, like the whole idea of making this massive open world where you could like explore, even look in drawers and you can find stuff, even though there's like no point to doing that, but it still increases the feeling of atmosphere, and that it's like a real world, like that's the whole point of it. But then obviously there was the whole thing where they ran out of money, and it was like, well, actually this is not going to be 16 chapters, because it's not going to work. So yeah, they like with 2, they just sort of like cut the whole thing like right down to like, okay, let's just focus on on where we're going, and because that's where I heard that it was Nagoshi that came in from the Yakuza team to like, or that wasn't Yakuza team, them to actually force Yu Suzuki to finish it, because like if you read the design stuff for it, it's fascinating, because like they said, like with Yu Suzuki, he was no good at like just coming up with like a design document that would like be very focused and very clear about what they were trying to achieve. He just keep coming up with new ideas and new things that he thought were interesting, and it's like
Molyneux.
Exactly, yeah, and that's how you just burn tons of money and just never, it wasn't going to get finished. So yeah, I think that's probably why they brought Nagoshi in to finish like with Shenmue 2, and then it just ended up maybe losing a bit of the charm, really. But then you get, I mean, after you've done with Hong Kong, where you're going next is good, I think. Although I want to warn you that it becomes even less interactive. What you're going to do, though,
I don't really mind that.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, the other problem with the game is that the story is just really fucking lame. Not so much the story. I mean, I'm into the whole, I want to know what the Phoenix Mirrors are all about. I want to know, whether you find out that or not, I don't know, and it's not really what I'm saying, but I'm sort of into that stuff. What I'm not into is, go here and find this person, now go here and find this person, and that gets well tiresome. You know what I mean? So, oh my god, just fucking tell me what the fuck.
I mean, also like the final reveal at the end of the game. The final reveal at the end of the second one, like, didn't. Yeah, it didn't do much for me, actually, and
the final reveal.
Yeah, because there is something that happens at the end of the second game, and I was not happy about it, to be honest.
I remember you telling me about it, because I remember at one point I said, "Look, I'm never going to play this. What's the ending about?" And I remember you telling me, and don't get me wrong, I've completely forgotten.
Yeah,
but I kind of remember you mentioning a cave. Is that correct?
Yeah.
Something about a cave.
Well, where you're going, there's a lot of caves. Trust me, there's going to be a lot of caves, and but again, the atmosphere is really good. Like, I think, or at least it was back in 2002 or whatever it was. It was, but yeah, maybe now not so much. I don't know. But yeah, it has an ending which I didn't feel fit with like the rest of the tone of the series at all. It just felt really off.
Does it end on a big musical number?
I don't want to spoil it,
like
Matt.
Ghostbusters 2.
Don't want to spoil it,
Oh, of course.
What was the Ghostbusters 2 song at the end?
Shit, I can't remember.
What did they sing at the end of Ghostbusters
It
2?
was Candle in the Wind.
Ghostbusters 2 ending. There we go.
Yeah, so Shenmue's out in August, isn't it? That's
Christ.
That's gonna be big. That's gonna be big.
It's out in August?
Yeah.
Got it.
Right, well, I've definitely got to get it finished, but I'll get it finished by then, won't I? Alright, hold on. No, see, this is just the end credits. That's not what I want. There's this whole sing-along thing at the end, isn't there?
I honestly don't remember.
No, James has made a gag, so James is a big sing-along at the end.
Of what?
Ghostbusters 2.
No, I made the
you
game.
made it. Okay.
Not me.
Ghostbusters 2.
Maybe you're misremembering.
End song. Hold on.
This is what the patrons pay for, isn't it?
Yeah, no, it is.
It's a good shit.
I can't find it, but I know that they all sing a song together, and it's like I think it was Bill Murray. I was reading an interview with Bill Murray, and he was like, they were talking about how disappointing Ghostbusters 2 was. And I remember him saying something like, and then we just sung a song at the end, and even on set, we were just going, "Why are we doing? Why is this happening now?" All right, okay, is that's enough for an intro, isn't it? That's worth the money.
Yeah, sorry.
Just before we go, can we have a quick chat about nightmares?
What?
Because
Okay,
Go on.
So the other week, Lou and I went to Edinburgh for the weekend, and without
what a fucking nightmare. See you next
I
week.
know, yeah, and then the first night, so obviously, so we didn't take Isaac with us, so first night we slept for about 10 hours, it was amazing.
Oh God, that
Second
sounds so
night,
good.
we both had loads of nightmares and had loads of trouble sleeping.
Oh, wow.
Really?
Yeah, which I've Googled, and explanations range from, oh, well, if there's something you're both worried about, maybe that would be why, to, oh, well, if you're sharing similar energies in the room. I was like,
Oh, for fuck's
yeah, so,
sake,
I was
yeah, I
like,
hate
so
this.
there
think
is
it's the
no
second
good,
one, yeah.
there is no good explanation. But one of my nightmares was about Matt.
Oh, God.
Oh, brilliant.
Well, it wasn't,
Here we
I mean,
go.
nightmare is pushing it. It
Was
was
he asking you to do another stream?
No, 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 it was-
You used to do like a pod every night.
it was
Start the 24
more like,
hour.
you know, sometimes it's not really a nightmare, it's more just like an anxiety dream, and you wake up like, oh, fuck, I've got to fix this, and then before you realise it wasn't real. So I dreamt that I just got an email on my phone. It was to the TCGS account, and it was whoever does the PR for the band Sigur Rós, you know, the Icelandic
Yeah.
band, yeah. And basically, reading this email, Matt had taken it upon himself to review the latest Sigur Rós album on our website and gave it an absolute kicking. And the PR was just like, what the fuck is this? Like, and it was things like, you know, you slagged off the singer's voice. They've been going for about 20 years. Do you not know what the singer fucking sounds like by now? And I woke up
Did you
like,
wake up in a cold sweat?
yeah, I woke up like, fuck, man, what's he done? Why has he done this?
I love Sigur Rós, and now we're blacklisted.
yeah.
We'll never get sent the next album
Well, yeah,
now.
we'll never get another review from them again. So yeah, that was a dream I had.
Wow.
Yeah.
I did- my last
what I might
nightmare
do now
was-
is
Do
just
that.
write a scathing review of any of their albums, put it on the website, but don't mention it at all. So patrons will know what it refers to. Non-patrons are like, why is there Sigur Rós
What on earth is
review
going on?
on the computer game show?
It's great because I used to have a colleague at work who's one of these people who believe that like every single dream you have has meaning. And you know, just like I know, like loosely, the explanation for dreams it's like your brain just sort of trying things out, hypothetical situations, just be like, well, what would I do? It's just like rehearsing for things that might happen, but that's not going to happen. That's not a worry that I have. Do you know what I mean?
Well, sure. Actually, that's very possible that it can happen.
Well, now I've given you
I
the
love
idea.
the idea that Sigur Rós are like, hang on, the computer game show gave us a bad review. Quick,
Yeah,
email.
what the fuck? This will bury us.
Yeah, cool. We've got to deal with this now.
My last nightmare was genuinely horrific. Right, it was. So I don't have dreams unless I wake up. If that makes sense, that doesn't make sense, does
now,
it?
you do still have dreams. It's just that you're not remembering them. You're only remembering the ones where you wake up halfway because it means your brain's kicked into gear and
you
actually
just
started.
No. What I mean is that I don't doubt that, right? And I wouldn't argue against that. But what I'm saying is that okay, let me rephrase this. I don't remember the dreams, right?
Yeah.
If I wake up in the middle of the night, I haven't had a dream, right? There's nothing waking up in the middle of the night.
Yeah.
It's when I go back to sleep. So if I sleep through, I'll never remember a dream. But if I wake up in the middle of the night, then go back to sleep, then I will have quite vivid dreams, right? The one I had the other night, right, Matt, you know these people, but I walked into a front room, and in the front room was Nick, Zeno. I don't think Jay was there. Maybe Chet was there. There was a few of our mates in this front room, right? And we were chatting or whatever, and then all of a sudden they stopped, looked at me, and started running at me, right? And then I woke up, and I was like, oh, that was it was a bit weird, right? So then I went back asleep again. Exactly the same thing happened, but this time I'm going, this is a dream, I'm okay. And then I sort of just like had a go at them back or whatever, and then that was it. And then I found myself walking into the room again, and I went, oh, the same thing's happening again. They're going to run at me now. They all started running at me, and that was fine. Again, the same thing happened, right? Like, it didn't matter. And it just kept repeating until one time they stopped, grabbed hold of me, and then pushed me. Like, I was standing on solid ground, but as they pushed me down by the shoulders and I could feel their hands on my shoulders, it was just water. And then I was being held underwater, like drowning.
Oh, shit.
And I woke up and did not fall asleep for about half an hour.
Yeah, I bet.
Like I was properly fucked up. Anyway, catch you on next month's show. I don't know why I told that. It's just weird. It's just
I really
really
had no nightmare for ages.
Really?
I don't tend to have them. I don't know, a
that means
couple
you're
a
due
year
on that.
maybe, if that.
Mine involve a lot of staring, like just someone just standing in the corner staring at me, and that's why PT was so horrific. Because there was like one time when you cross, like where you walk around the corner and she's just like standing there, like that. That was just.
Isn't that a common thing with sleep paralysis? People feel like there's something in the room just watching them.
Can we stop talking about this?
Yeah, I know. Shit,
Sorry, yeah,
this is really fucking me up now.
I mean, but my nightmares aren't like scary things. They're like the ones I've had in the past. It's things like there's a problem and I can't fix
It's like
it.
Apple releasing a defective product.
Yeah, like, I can't update my firmware. No, it's like there's maybe like a problem.
Playdate not being quite as good as you were hoping.
Yeah. My nightmares that
Sorry,
the crank
Matt.
breaks instantly. It's like. It's basically like there's a problem I can't fix and it's really annoying, but that keeps getting like worse and worse and worse, and it's almost like a point of like mania.
I know what you mean.
Yeah.
Which means
I
like a
get
problem,
that.
like a physical problem, or
Well, I can't even think of an example, but it's just like something's gone wrong, and maybe I'm stressed in a dream. I don't know, but like that just gets bigger and bigger, and it's like more and more complex, and I'm just like losing my mind. But those are the only sort of nightmares I really have, really.
You see, that's what I get when I've got a fever. And I'll dream about having some like impossible like logistical task. It's been everything from like one, I was like managing like a warehouse, and there was like stuff had to be moved in and out. And then there was one, I was
Get those invoices ready.
yeah. And there was one I had to. Well, I was like in control of like a space station, and it was all ships were like trying to dock and leave, and they're all shouting at me because they were getting delayed. It was like and it was just this proper like headache inducing like horrible feeling.
Yeah.
my fever ones, right? When I've like fever freakouts or whatever, it's like imagine there's two ways of explaining it. The best way is, do you know the DVD menu where the DVD logo just like move around the screen and bounce around, right? It was that, but it looked more like Pong with like, imagine Pong, but instead there was no paddles and it was a solid wall around it, right? So that ball would just be pinging about like the DVD logo. It's that, but that square moves at specific speed that just fucks me up. Like it's not quick. It's not really quick, but it's not slow. It's more quick than it's slow, but it's not like insanely quick. And I just, whenever I get like real fever or whatever, I close my eyes, see that, and it fucks me up so much. Like it's unreal.
Our brain's
that's how my brain
amazing.
works.
Fucking brilliant.
I think we've established that
we
they're
really
not.
have screwed ourselves. I mean, normally, if you're running low on content, you're like, okay, let's talk about dreams. We've done it in the first episode of this. We're already like, aren't dreams mad? Yeah, they are.
Didn't we always call this the Dreamcast?
Next month it'll
TCGS, we
be
didn't call it that.
holidays, and then actually, I suppose I sort of covered holidays as well.
Yeah, in a couple of episodes' time, we'll say, do you remember Tandy and Rumbelows? Aren't Tick and Mix like more really
What's your
expensive
favourite
now?
sweet? What's your favourite
remember
sweet?
Remember you could get a
7p?
5p mix of sweets.
Yeah, exactly.
That was
Early
hard.
sweets, more
was
like
Pogs.
5p sweets.
Either that, or we just go horrifically into the details of other podcasters that we genuinely don't like.
We can do that, yeah.
I did wonder if like airing of grievances on this show was going to be a thing, given that it's relatively secret, but actually the internet exists, so best not.
Does anyone from Kane and Rinse listen? Like, have they anyone
I mean, Chris O'Regan's technically part of the Kane and Rince stable now, isn't he? He's...
Right, okay, we better avoid discussing that then.
I mean, basically, if you're listening to us right now, we actually had another half an hour, but then we looked up and saw Chris O'Regan was a backer, and we're like, we better delete that. Better delete that half an hour tirade.
Yeah. I'll tell you, really fucks me off, right? So, thanks for listening this week. Right, I think that's enough. We intended to do... We're nearly an hour.
We are nearly an hour. We said...
And this is only the intro one. These ones will be far more structured, and once we know what we're doing with them, and we need your help. So please join the Discord if you're not in the Discord, or if you don't want to and you just want to listen,
if you don't want to get involved with the Discord, then just we'll obviously... This will be posted on Patreon. Just let us know in the comments, thoughts, feedback, anything else you want to discuss, or you can email podcast@thecomputergameshow.com, of course, to let us know where you want, where you want us to take this, really.
Yeah, I mean, if you've got an idea, if you've got a game for us to play, do you remember we used to do games?
Yeah, well, we've probably got someone to do in the inbox. So
I know there was one that was really good where someone went through like the history of this show and pulled out quotes, and we had to guess who said it.
Oh wow!
Yeah, I bet some of those are pretty fucking insane. But yeah. Thanks for listening, and thanks so much for supporting the show. It means the world to us. It really does. We'll catch you on the next one.
Bye-bye.
Goodbye. Bye.